Alright, hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Back with another replay. This time, I'm in it. I'm playing the LTVZ 1938, or just 38, which is a Czechoslovakian Tier 3 light tank. Now, a lot of people find low tiers very boring, and I would agree in a lot of cases. However, there's some tanks that are just outright fun, and this is one of them. This tank, I call it the Mini TVP. It's got a 3-round autoloader with a 1-second inner clip. Now these shells here, you can look there, they hit for 40 average damage with 82 pen at Tier 3, which is fantastic, and that's on the standard. The premium rounds, which I hardly ever use, have 115 millimeters of penetration. This means in 2 seconds, you're able to give it out 120 damage, plus or minus. So I'm playing here on Lakeville. I'm going to try and make my way up the middle here. Now this tank, even though it has a 3-round autoloader, it only has about a 4-second reload, which means you end up with pretty good base DPM. So nothing spotted. A lot of times low tiers, the layout is very unusual. I'm going to spot this AMX. Somebody's going to spot this AMX 40. Unfortunately, I rushed some of the shells there. I didn't feel that I really had time to aim as that AMX 40 was crossing. And unfortunately, because the AMX 40 is so heavily armored, the shells just kind of bounced off everywhere. Now I'm going to make my way up to the enemy cap circle. Seems great. Nobody's over here. Still haven't even been lit. I'm going to run into a Valentine AT. Now I'm going to use auto aim. I use a lot of auto aim with this so that I can stay in third person. And that gives me a little bit more map awareness. A lot of times with these low tiers, it doesn't really matter. Unfortunately there, didn't help me that much. Now, this cruiser is just not paying attention. You can just see how much damage you do with this vehicle. This is probably one of my favorite tanks at this tier. You can see just easy damage, about a 3.8 second reload I have on here. And I'm up to 400 damage already, which is great for this vehicle. Unfortunately, the Valentine tracks me there. I bounce a shot. Now I've got an Su-76 GFT shooting me in the rear. So I'm going to use this rock behind me to get unspotted from the Valentine AT and try and dodge some of these shells from this Su-76. So I'm going to make my way out of here and get back onto this middle road. I've noticed that the enemies have already taken that zero line. And I want to be able to be in a position to help that Hetzer should he get pushed. I don't feel like the Valentine AT is a big threat, as he's a fairly slow vehicle. Now I have to contend with this Panzer S35. This is a great Tier 3 German medium tank. It's got a fantastic gun, decent armor. I'm going to blind fire. Fortunately, I was way off the mark there. It looks like I may have hit the first one. I'm going to auto aim again. And I'm just going to dump it. The reload is so quick that it is worth it to just dump the whole clip off. Now, looking for a shot, I'm trying to... Unfortunately, we lost the Hetzer over there. To the platoon there of Su-76s. So I'm going to try and help them out. Unfortunately, the roof of that house is just in the way. However, I do have some sneaky shots here. Bring him down to 3 health. Now, I didn't low roll at all there. I hit for exactly my alpha. I was just really hoping that I would get a little bit of a high roll to clear that Su-76 out. Now, the enemies have already taken over the 2-line, and I'm kind of straddling a weird spot here. Take another hit from the S-35. Two out of 3 there, not bad. 75 damage. Unfortunately, it looks like maybe one of those hit. And I get shot by the Su-76 again. That tank hits pretty hard. And it looks like I did get lit there. Now I'm going to make my way back towards the middle. Try and support our BT-7 artillery and T-28. At this point, we are now down 5 tanks. But only 50 hit points. That means there's a lot of enemy one-shots. We haven't been able to finish them off. We can see one Su-76 is about a quarter. If we look down here, now we have a T6 medium coming in and a T29. The T28 finishes him off. Let's see if he can't deal with the T6 and the S35. Now I'm in an awkward spot. Do I go back over to the S35 and try and kill him in the Valentine, or do I stay over here and support? Now I feel like my best play here is going to be support the middle. With the BT7 and the T28 in the rear, I feel like I can get some good crossfire on whatever that BT7 artillery is spotting. So unfortunately, 3 bounces there. Really shouldn't have auto-aimed that one. That's just a poor play by me. And unfortunately, I low roll the Su-76. Wouldn't have mattered. My reload is so quick that I can finish that off. Now I'm looking for a shot on this other Su-76G. I'm going to blind fire 2 in there, just hoping maybe he's peeking out around the rock. And the BT7 already finishes that off. Now I'm going to be looking for shots at this AMX-40. Unfortunately, he's sitting around the house right now, and I'm just hoping that this BT7 lets me shoot him. There we go, the AMX-40 is pushing. Now I'm going to aim these. The rear of the AMX-40 is not that strong. Unfortunately, bounced the rear one. Poor play by me. Low roll him again. I really should not be auto-aiming these, and this is something that, that's one of the mistakes I've made here. A lot of auto-aiming. Now, I feel like I can because the reload is so quick, but there really wasn't any need to. There was no third-party threat there. Now, I'm going to try and help out this BT7 artillery by spotting these 2 tanks here on the corner. 3 shots right into this Panzer S35. I'm going to just try and let my BT7 handle most of this. I'm going to back up. That T6 medium has a very similar gun as the M4 Sherman. Now, misplay by me. I should have just let the BT7 artillery shoot him. There was no need for me to go out there and take that hit, and that's going to cost me. Here comes the S35. Now, I'll make a decision to just make a run for it. I'm lucky that I made it out of there when I did, because this tank right here is going to cause a lot of problems if he had come up behind me. Now, I'm going to go in, and I decide I'm going to try and keep him lit for the BT7 artillery. However, there's a little ridge right in here, and unfortunately that's going to make it so that he can see me as soon as I can see him. Now, there's a Valentine AT, so I have to make a decision. Do I try and go to their cap circle, or do I hang out here and try and crossfire them if they push? Terrible driving there, running right into their S35CA. Now I decide that I'm going to sit here and try and shoot this S35. Now my thought, anyways, as I see the tree go down, is that maybe if he pushes, I can get a shot. The BT7 artillery there finishes this Valentine AT. Now this should be a sure win, as long as I don't play this poorly. Now, unfortunately, I got antsy, and I poked over, trying to see if I could maybe catch the S35CA, and he was already looking at me. And now we have a 1v1 here, against an S35 and a BT7 artillery. We'll just fast forward this replay, get some 4 times speed here, and we'll see exactly how this game turns out because of my mistake. Fortunately, BT7 artillery is just hemorrhaging health here. He's trying to get vision on this S35, but I believe both of them are pretty much decked out for Tier 3. And the BT7 artillery is going to make some great plays here. He's using the double bush mechanic, as we can see. Gets a great hit in there. Unfortunately, he's firing HE. Which means, and this S35 is pretty well armored, which means it's going to take quite a while. Fortunately, timer's counting down. gets another hit in there, but it's for about 20 damage here. And there's the 2-minute warning. You can see the screen not penetrated. We're down to a minute. And now, with 30 seconds left, this S-35 is going to push. And unfortunately, this game ends in a draw. Because of my mistake out here on the 2 line, we lost that game. I could have just pushed all the way down to their cap circle, just started capping out, and that S-35 would have had to come back, and the BT-7 already would have spotted him as he did so. Instead, I got greedy, and I tried to help out the BT-7 too much while I was a one-shot, and completely wasted my vehicle. So, you can see there are many mistakes I made, starting off with rushing shots in the AMX-40, auto-aiming too much, trying to get way too aggressive in this game. Now, I got a good result. I believe I got 1,100 damage this game. It only shows 948. Some of those blind shots I did hit. But just shows how little mistakes can start to add up. Finishing here trying to poke against the S-35, which caused me to go down to a one-shot, and therefore their S-35 was able to kill me in one hit. So, I hope you learned something a little bit. There's always stuff to learn, even at Tier 3. And all of the things I just talked about applies all the way up from Tier 3 to Tier 1 and all the way to Tier 10. So, hope you took something out of it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.